Welcome back to level 2 of the Circle of Life. This is creature power. Our key point for the entire quest is that living things interact with their environment in order to meet their needs and survive. To do so, every organism inherits characteristics from its parents that allow it to adapt and change to meet its needs. Organisms that do not inherit useful adaptations that give them an advantage will not survive as it competes with other organisms for resources. We find organisms living together and using their adaptations and instincts in ecosystems around the world. Producers, consumers, and decomposers play an important role in creating a diverse and balanced ecosystem. Our big question is, what do living things need in order for them to survive? So far, we've learned that they need to inherit certain characteristics from their parents that allow them to survive. They also need to have useful adaptations that allow them to survive. And we'll continue to learn what other things they need in order to survive in their environments. This is mission 2, which is response to change. Our mission objective is to describe how organisms respond to change in their environments. Our challenges are: name at least 2 reasons why organisms need to respond to changes in their environment, and give an example of how plants respond to change in their environment. Some organisms live in an environment that changes naturally. So over time, just by existing, an environment will change. Plants would grow taller, or things will die, other things will come to life. It just happens naturally. And the organisms that live in there will need to use resources in that environment to survive. Some environments have characteristics that are different in different seasons. Of course, we should know that the weather changes depending on the season, and an organism that lives in a changing environment may have to change in order to survive. If they don't change, they might not survive. Some examples of change are trees shed their leaves in the winter, and this change helps trees save water and then survive the cold weather, because during the summer those leaves require water to stay alive, and so by shedding them in the winter, the rest of the tree can retain the water that's left and then stay alive throughout the entire winter. Some animals move out of an environment when the season changes. Some birds would migrate during the winter because they live in northern environments in the summer and then fly south when winter comes. So those are some examples of organisms changing because of their environment changing. Some organisms change depending on what's happening in their environment. This could be a behavior change or a change in their physical characteristics. The change either helps organisms meet their needs, or the changes have happened because the organisms met their needs. One of those 2 things. They either need to meet their needs, or they have already met their needs and now they have changed because of that. Let's talk about some physical changes of animals. You might not know this, but did you know that flamingos actually have white feathers naturally? The pink or red feathers that we are accustomed to, that we see, actually come from the food that they eat, which is shrimp and algae. Those 2 things are rich in keratin, which turns the white feathers into pink or red feathers. You might not have known that, but that's one change that has happened to an animal because of its environment. In some reptiles, like sea turtles, the temperature of the eggs in a nest will determine if the baby turtles living inside will be male or female. So there's another change that happens because of the environment in which the animal lives in. These are examples of stimuli, and remember, stimuli means changes because these factors cause a change in an organism. So those were physical changes. What about behavior changes? Shelters are very important for animals to survive. We need to have them because it protects animals from bad weather and from predators. The house sparrow has changed its behavior over time by learning how to open the automatic sliding doors of some stores. As they open the doors, they fly in and build nests. What did they learn? They learned that it's pretty safe in there. I don't have predators, and the weather's really good, so they have learned how to fly in when those automatic doors open, and then in there they build nests so that they can have a better chance of passing on those characteristics to their offspring. Plants also respond to stimuli or changes in their environment because some trees grow better in certain soil, while others might grow sideways because of the wind. Plants also have the ability to change the direction they grow. As a result of having that ability, they may bend and grow in the direction of light. Ivy climbs on trees and walls to find the sunlight that it needs to grow. So plants will move in the direction of the light. In order to survive, they will twist and turn their bodies, the stem of the plant, to get closer to that sun source or that light source. Some trees would grow better in certain soil and would bend because of the wind in order to survive. This is the end of this mission. Make sure you have those challenge questions answered and are ready to take the checkpoint. If you have any questions, please let me know.